Going to do a book example here. Okay, this is chapter 12 notes. This is actually the second day we're doing chapter 12. We're kind of skipping around in the chapter because everything in between is matrices. So we're doing 12.1 and 12.5, and then after spring break we'll do all the matrices stuff, okay? This is worksheet 2, except this is not on the worksheet. I would really like to just do one quick example where you just watch, okay?
Which worksheet is it?
Worksheet 2 that I just passed out.
Oh, thank
Do you have it?
you. Yep.
Did I miss anybody when I was passing them out? Okay. I don't know why I have all kinds of extra stuff around that little information, but I want to just do this one. You don't need to be doing this. I mean, you don't need to write it down, okay? Just look up here for a second. Can anybody tell me what this is a system of if I were to graph this?
The first one is a hyperbola.
It is. It's a little square thing with a hyperbola going this way and this way. Okay? And the second one is, it is a circle. Okay? So how many points are you thinking they might be intersecting? 4. And if that isn't the crookedest thing you've ever seen, I don't know. But anyway, gonna keep going here. We actually, somebody's gonna try to do something crazy, like square root these equations. Can you square root an x squared plus y squared and just make it into an x plus y? No. Okay. We can solve by elimination, which is very nice, that even with x squareds we can solve by elimination. So if we add these together, we get a 2x squared, the y's drop out, we get 18, so we get x squared equals 9. We do have to be careful, Austin said we gotta remember plus or minus, okay? If we plug this back in, no, that would not be good. If we plug these back in for the x, no matter which one we plug in, we get a 9. Yes, y squared is 4, y equals plus or minus 2. Now, how many actual points of intersection does that come out to be?
4.
It does, because when I put in a 3, I would still get out plus or minus 2. When I put in a negative 3, I still get out plus or minus 2. So therefore, did I get them all? I was talking at the same time. All 4 points equally spaced in the quadrants here, forgive my horrid picture, but all work, okay? There are 4 points of intersection. All right, that was a nice one that solved by elimination. Now, I was really mean and cruel and used CUDA program to come up with a couple examples for notes here. And they are just mean and cruel, awful examples, okay? We're gonna take this second one. Does anybody know what this would graph as? The first one has, the second one is a line. The first one has an x squared and a y squared with a plus, but different coefficients. It is an ellipse, okay? So, in theory, we could have no points of intersection, 1 point of intersection if it was just tangent to the ellipse, 2 points of intersection, but I don't think we can have more than 2, right?
We just go with
Okay. Yeah, none would be nice. Yeah. What? But that was an ellipse and a hyperbola. This is a line and an ellipse. Okay, guys, I want you to make this second equation say y equals for me. What will it say? Okay, now unfortunately, I want you to put that in everywhere up here and here that it says y equals. And then have an algebra party.
Really? Oh, just make me stop trying in life. What's that mean? I don't know. I think it's
I did hear the word FOIL. We do have to multiply this out very carefully. And we cannot distribute the 4 until we've done that, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Ugh.
Uh,
Okay, Somebody foil that together in their head and tell me what I get. Everybody okay with where the 12 came from? There was a -6 and a -6. And I'm going to distribute back here. Okay, can I save a little time and effort in my life by distributing this and not rewriting the whole sentence?
Maybe, but we don't know.
Okay,
Life is still being wasted.
all right. Now, we need to combine like terms. There's some x squareds. How many x squareds did I get? Okay, someone with a calculator. Those are all, I think it's 38, because I think it was something divisible by 19.
Yeah, 38.
Okay? Now,
That's right.
we have a 36 minus 6 minus 87. Yep.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Okay,
Well, 57.
we get to have a dividing party following our algebra party. And miraculously, it all comes down to something very nicely factorable.
How nice.
Yeah, we could have, but I didn't want to deal with the factors of 19 and 57, and I just decided
Look
to.
at this.
So we get x equals -3 and +1.
And we're gonna change.
Now we need an x equals 3 and -3, sorry, and an x equals +1, and we need to find the corresponding y values by plugging those back in right up there. So 2 times -3 minus 3, I'm thinking it's -9. Anybody checking me?
I'll just say yes.
2 times 1 minus 3 seems like a -1. We said most points of intersection would be 2, right?
Yeah, we did.
2 there are. We were hoping none, but we didn't get that lucky.
Let's go with none next time. Is there a none on this? 'Cause I don't even know.
No, there is not a none on this. You know what? Can you guys try this one? I want to try completing the square to see, I'll tell you now, this comes out one solution, and I'm trying to figure out how a hyperbola and a line only intersect once. It'd have to be like tangent to the curve of one and with
Yeah,
a not
we
steep
can
enough
do that.
slope. But it doesn't even have to be vertical, I don't think. If this branch is, I'm going to complete the square and think about what this looks like. Or we could just use
Cockle.
Desmos.
No.
This is Desmos.
Okay,
Desmos.
let's get this in y equals form. What would it say?
Flag, let's say that. No.
Y
Tight
equals
ass.
x plus 3.
Okay, so we're gonna plug it in here and here. Can you guys work on that?
I can. Don't worry.
Be careful, you're distributing a negative on both of these. Who's gonna be nice and read me the calculator, or the equation? The first one is x squared. Guys, we are recording, remember?
Okay, sorry guys.
Minus 3y squared minus 8x minus 2y minus 65 equals 0. And the other equation was negative x minus 3y.
Negative 2.
Oh, no. Just, I can't even read.
I think it's
Plus y.
She's like on Desmos, I think.
Yeah, I'm on Desmos, sorry. minus
Did you stop
3.
the recording?
No, I didn't. Equals 0. Oh, very interesting. Okay, I'm going to go to Desmos for you, which actually the recording is already getting this because
Good job recording.
it goes by what's on my screen. Look at what we get.
Beautiful.
They are just tangent at a point. Interesting. So where's the other half of this hyperbola?
Not relevant.
Yeah, how do I make my window? I go minus, you think?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
Look at there. Interesting. Very nice. Okay. How did it go for you guys? Did you find an ordered pair that fit down in that fourth quadrant or third quadrant somewhere maybe?
It's not possible for it to be tangent like on the top part, is it? I don't think it is. It would cross the other side.
No, I think it could have been tangent. With the right slope, it could have been tangent.
Is it possible that it could possibly
This was x squared plus 6x plus 9, yes?
Maybe. Yeah. Negative x squared. Oh, there we go. Okay. good one. Alright.
Okay, somebody simplify this for me. What did you have?
Negative 2x squared, right?
Negative 7.
Plus
Wait.
8x.
Plus 8x?
I don't know.
Did you say negative?
Wait, let's see what I put. Oh, you're right.
I'm thinking that might be a
It's
handwriting
negative
issue,
2x
but
squared minus 28x minus 98 is equal to 0.
did someone else get 98?
I'm gonna go with what she said. 'cause
Okay.
she's a smart girl.
If we divide it, we get x squared plus 14x plus 49. So we got one solution like I suggested that I did when I did this question earlier today. That x equals negative 7. If I plug that back in here, I got negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4.
Why?
I don't know if I go here. Does it let me trace at some point? If I zoom back in?
Oh, why? Why would you do
Oh, look at there. You're so smart. There's our point of intersection. No one is going to go home and do their homework algebraically anymore, are they? All right.
You said decimals, right? Do you think that it would tell me to focus?
I said decimals.
Decimals, not.
Okay. Did we get answers? We're good? Okay, number 3. We would like to solve number 3 in an easier way if at all possible. Does anybody see something we could do that would be much easier?
Divide by 2. Or no, don't divide by 2.
We could make one equal to x. We could make one equal to x equals and substitute in. I actually did elimination. Do you want to try elimination?
Let's try that.
I rewrote this one under here by just changing the signs or doing negative 1 times this whole thing. Guys? Then I added those together. I don't know, someone help me.
2x squared.
126 and 14, 112. And 96 maybe? Okay, which is all nicely divisible by negative 16. I think that all that program does is make numbers really big and obnoxious. How many times does 16 go into 112?
I'm going with
7?
4. Oh. Wait, what? It is?
Okay. 7 times 6 is 42. Ends in a 2.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
It would be 64.
All right, so I have a negative 6 and a negative 1 for my y's. Now, kind of hurt my head to plug it back in. I was lazy, or not lazy, maybe smart, I don't know, but I rewrote this sentence as 2y squared plus 14y plus 19. I moved everything else over to the other side, and then I could plug these in to find x. So when y was -1, if I put a -1 in here and here, 2 minus 14 plus 19. Seven, maybe? Did anybody else get that? And then if I put the -6 in, if I remember right from the other class, it's actually 7 both times. Did anybody type it in? No?
I like your 7.
Does anybody know what these would graph as? We forgot to talk about that first. They're both, look at this spot right here. What is that a graph of? It is a parabola. It's opening sideways, okay? This one would also be a parabola opening sideways. How can they have 2 points of intersection? They're even opening the same direction.
One smaller?
Yeah, one's skinnier and one's wider, so when you put them on top of each other, go in the same direction, you get 2 points of intersection, okay? Makes sense? All right. We are gonna solve this algebraically. I know it's a multiple choice question. I just put it on here on purpose because this is what someone's gonna do,
They're silly, don't do that, guys.
okay? Every year on the test, somebody does that. Okay? You can't do that. You could rewrite this bottom one as 4 minus x maybe and plug it in up here. Yeah. This would be, if it were on a test, a much better question to simply plug the choices in. Someone who is solving it algebraically might be silly and divide through by an x or a 2 right here. Dividing through will lose one of your solutions. You want to just factor out.
X minus 1.
So what are the 2 possible values for x?
Oh, I remember these.
Okay. And then if we plug it back in here, if we had a 0, 4 minus 0, the y would be 4. If the x were 4, 4 minus 4 would be 0.
C.
So it is choice C. You can, I suggested, yes, that this would, if it were a test question and it were multiple choice, might be faster just to plug the choices in. Everybody okay with that one?
Yeah. Which number? Oh.
Can you do number 2 then? Maybe on your own, I don't know. What would you like to do with this one? It's not a multiple choice.
Should we get rid of like the ones?
What you d- Yes, you could do elimination, and that's what I did, okay? You could do substitution. If you were going to do substitution, don't solve for x, just solve for x squared. And substitute in for the whole x squared.
That's smart.
Because you don't need to know what x is the square root of some garbage. Honestly, I just multiplied through by a -1 here. So I had x squared plus y squared equals 144. Negative x squared plus 4y squared equals -64. Gives me 5y squared equals 80. So y is what?
4, plus or minus. Uh-oh.
Now, if I were to put a 4 back in for y, I think it's 128. Did I subtract that right? 128 is 64 times 2, so if I were being a fuddy-duddy picky mathematician, I would say 8 square roots of 2. Now,
Good.
remember, I put a positive 4 in to get that. So it could be 8 square roots of 2 and a 4, or negative 8 square roots of 2 and a 4. Now, what if I chose to put the negative 4 in? Is it going to change? No. So I get negative 8 square roots of 2, negative 4, and positive 8 square roots of, yeah, I can't write.
Doesn't work this time.
Okay, graph. Can anybody describe the graph? This one is a
Circle.
circle, and this one is
An ellipse.
an ellipse. Nope.
It is
It's a hyperbola.
hyperbola.
It's a hyperbola. So it's going this way and this way. Does it seem possible? Four nice points of intersection.
Actually, at baseball.
Okay. All right. I need you to look up here because the next thing I want to talk about isn't on your sheet. On the book work, there are some questions like this. Is everybody looking up here? If it said solve this system, I don't think algebraically is looking very fun.
No, it's not.
Okay? But we can solve it graphically. Let me show you the next slide. I typed those in. Actually, I didn't. I copied out the book. But you get something that looks like this. What am I looking for if I want to solve a system? Yes, the intersection points, because I graphed it in y1 and y2. So I need this point, this point, this point, and be very careful you set your window big enough. There is one clear up here. Okay? They rounded to the nearest tenth. I probably would have carried more decimals, but they got 4 intersection points, and those are the 4 ordered pairs that work in both of these equations. Okay? Unfortunately, and I honestly used our book test generator to come up with this question, the book said solve this graphically. Neither one of those is in y equals form. And even if I put one in y equals form, it's ugly, and I can't get them both in y equals form to graph them both separately. So we're going to do this question, but I'm going to kind of lead you through it and tell you that nothing on the homework is as bad as this, okay?
Thank you.
Let's make this second equation say y equals.
Sine of x plus 9 over 5. Oh, dang, I'm so sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. I just went the other direction. It will simplify down to 1x plus 1.8. Okay? Guys? If I put this in to this equation, it will now say x times x plus 1.8. I'm just using a decimal because it's easier. Plus 6 times x plus 1.8 squared equals 3. Now, I'm going to subtract the 3 over to this side and say equals 0. There's no y left, but what could we do on our calculator to graph that and find the answers to that equation right there? We could put it all in y1 and find the zeros. We want to find the zeros. Okay? So can you type that in and find the zeros? I don't know. I've seen it both ways, with an E and without. All right, I'm gonna try a standard window. It is some funky looking parabolic shape, so I'm gonna go with this is it. I want to find the zeros. So there's one over here between -2 and -1, maybe? Ah,
Negative 2 and 0.
I should have just,
Or 10 if you want.
traced. All right, I want a 0 between here and here. So I got -2.483. And is anyone else actually doing this? -0.907. Okay, am I done? I need to plug those two answers in here. Okay, these are my x values, so -2.483 comma, somebody add 1.8 to that. -2.483 plus 1.8. Okay. And -9 or point is point. Thank you. All right. This graph, this is a line. I don't even know what this first one is. Is it a? I don't know.
It's not?
But it has an XY in it. I think it's. Somebody read me the equation.
X,
X,
Y,
wa- okay, fine.
X, Y. Plus, sorry. You guys wanna do it?
XY
X, Y plus 6Y squared is equal to 3.
Equals 3.
It is, I thought it was a hyperbola. It's just like a really weird slanty, flat hyperbola. Because it has an XY in there, so I knew. All right. I don't even know which sheet I'm on.
I would like to bring to our attention that we have almost 5
Yep.
minutes for.
I'm right now going to stop this lesson. Your assignment on this is page 824. It's up on the board. There is a puzzle on the back that you may do for extra credit on the homework check if you would like. Okay, but